welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles. I want to thank you guys for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today we have my favorite video of the week. It is the Hot 10 Breakdown. If you guys aren't familiar with what I do in the video, I take the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I break them down one by one, letting you guys out there know if I'm a buyer here at these prices or I'd be staying the hell away. With that said, before every video, I ask you guys, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that subscribe button, smash the hell out of that like button. Let's get this thing up to 200 likes. With that said, let's jump into this week's breakdown. At number 10 this week is a copy of The Authority #1, the premiere issue of the science fiction series created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $550, up a whopping 120% since 2021. Now you guys know why this book is hot. James Gunn announced it. There's going to be an Authority show, I believe. I don't think it's a movie. Regardless, you guys want to spend up to $600 on a 9.8 copy of this one, I say hell no. Stay the hell away from this book. I don't even know what this book is. I never heard of the characters before. I can guarantee you that this movie or show, when it does come out, is going to be awesome. But right now, I do not want to own this book. At number 9 this week is a copy of Star Wars #1 and the first appearance of Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, C-3PO, and R2-D2. All characters that we know and love from the Star Wars series. And a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $1,200, up 8% over the average. I told you guys last week when this book was on the list, I love this book. I want to own it, but I don't think you need to go out and get a super high grade copy. I think if you're a massive Star Wars fan, maybe you want a 9.8, 9.6. For me, I just want to own a copy in the collection. I'd definitely be a buyer of a lower priced book. At the 8th spot this week is a copy of Wolverine #1, the limited series, and of course the first cameo appearance of Yukio, and an iconic cover by the great Frank Miller. And a CGC 9.6 just sold last week for $384, up a whopping 30% over the average. I told you guys last week and the week before, I want to own this book. I definitely want in the collection, but there's no way in hell I'm spending almost $400 on a 9.6 copy of this one. There is no need. Hell, you might as well go out and get a 9.8, and even at those prices, you might as well go out and get a Hulk 181, the first true appearance of Wolverine. That is the better buy. In high grades, you want to own this book if you can get it for cheap. Other than that, I'd be staying away. At number 7 this week is a monster DC key. It is a copy of House of Secrets #92 and the first appearance of the original Swamp Thing, Alex Olsen. Of course, this is a classic cover by the great Bernie Wrightson to boot. And a CGC 6.5 just sold last week for only $1,638, up a measly 1% over the average. You guys know I absolutely love this Bronze Age key. I'd pick it up anytime I could. And now we got that Swamp Thing announcement from James Gunn. I'm surprised this book hasn't gone up by more than 1%. And we're starting to see the cheaper books start going up, which I don't understand. This is a book I'd be investing in, a book I definitely want in the collection. Make sure you add it over some of the other books that are going up right now. At the 6th spot this week is a copy of Marvel Premiere #47 and the first appearance of Scott Lang as the new Ant-Man, and another book that has been on and off the list. This is also the first appearance of his daughter, Cassie Lang. And a CGC 9.6 just put up a new high of $500, up 8% over the average. Again, because the same books are on this list, I'm going to repeat myself. I want to own this book. It's an awesome cover. It's a cool first appearance, but there's no way in hell I'm spending $500 on a 9.6 copy of this one. Save the $500, put it towards a bigger key, but definitely own this one in probably a fine to very fine range for $100 to $150. Spend no more than that. At number 5 this week is Omega Men #3 and the first appearance of Lobo. I think this is now 13 weeks on the list. Somebody out there, drop me a comment. Is this a new record? Because I have no idea. Regardless, a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $395, up 19% over that average. Now, I talk about this all the time. The high right now is $450 at a 9.8, and it's creeping down. Hopefully soon this one will be off the list. You know how I feel about this one. If you want to buy it, you should should have bought it maybe about 3 to 4 months ago at the latest. Regardless, I'm staying away at this price. At number 4 this week is another DC key relating to the James Gunn announcement about the new DC slate. It is a copy of Batman number 655 and the first cameo appearance of Damian Wayne, son of Bruce Wayne, on Talia al Ghul, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $450, up a crazy 134% over the average. Now again, I like this book. There's not too many modern books I want to own, but hey, you should have bought this book when it first came out, not now. Spending almost $500 on a 9.8 copy, I think it's insane, especially when we don't know what's going to happen in the future of the DC movies. Again, it's a key I want to own from the modern age, but now it's just too late spending these crazy prices on this book. Wait till after the movie comes out, then I'd be a buyer. At number 3 this week is the copy of The Last of Us American Dream #1, the prequel comic series released 2 months prior to the iconic video game. Of course, now this is also a hit TV show, and a CGC 9.8 just sold last week for $1,275, up another 2% since October. This book has been on the list 3 weeks in a row. I told you last week people are comparing it to The Walking Dead #1. I'm not too sure about that. I have to watch the TV show. Either way, I'm not spending $1,300 on a copy of this one. I don't think it's worth it. Even though you never know what's going to happen in the future with books like this, I just think it's too much money to spend on this right now. At the 2 spot this week is another DC key. It is a copy of Swamp Thing #1 and the first appearance and origin of the second Swamp Thing, Alec Holland, and a CGC 9.2 just sold last week for $669, up a crazy 31% over the average. We can see the DC effect and the James Gunn effect that has been had from the announcement just a week ago. Again, if I'm going to own a Swamp Thing book, I want to own House of Secrets 92. That is the better buy, and any grade you can get, I think it's always worth it, even though it is a Bronze Age key, so the higher the grade, the better. But that's the book I'd be buying, not this one right here. And at the top spot, finally a new #1, and who would have guessed it? It is a copy of Booster Gold #1 and the first appearance of Booster Gold, and you know there's a new TV show announced by James Gunn that is coming in a few years. Let me tell you, I love this character, but there's no way in hell I'm paying this type of prices at a 9.8 for this book. A CGC 9.8 just sold last week for a whopping $721, up an insane 88% over the average. You guys know you could have probably picked this book up for under $100 not too long ago. Now a 9.8, almost at $800. Whoever's buying this copy, you're out of your freaking mind. I love the character. I hate the price. Stay away from this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. A lot of new books on this week and a lot of DC keys going up in value. I will say that the spec game is back on, at least on the DC side. It is now time for my best buy of the week, and you guys know what it is. It is a copy of House of Secrets 92, this awesome Bernie Wrightson cover, this great storyline. Definitely a DC book that you should have owned by now, but now that it is starting to go up again, I'm definitely a buyer. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.